Hi everyone, today in this video I'm gonna give a brief introduction of Lab 6. So if you go to assignment and click on Lab 6, you will see a short introduction here. So in this assignment, you need to download the lab from over here. Click on this link. If you try to click on this, it probably won't work. So click on this and download the lab assignment. And then also you need to click on this web page link. This will take you to an online list of the samples we're gonna use. So if you open your lab assignments, you will see today we are going to identify chemical and biological sedimentary rocks. And there are two tables you need to work on. It's very similar to our last lab. So the first you need to identify the rocks, and then the second table you need to talk about how the rocks are formed. So in the first table, sample first on the first column there are sample numbers, and these sample numbers are referring to the web page here. So if you go to the bottom and select a sample to identify, then the first one is number 1. So you click on this, and this is the rock sample pictures. And also you can click here for close up image. So you can do this. And then, so how do you identify rocks based on the pictures? If you go back to the assignment, it asks for if it's a hydrologic acid test hardness, and then you need to identify the chemical or biological, and the composition will be the mineral, and then identify the rocks. So if you go back to this, there's a hydrologic acid test. You click on this and it says the sample did react to hydrological acid, and click OK. You go back to this and say yes. And then the hardness. So the hardness over here to the lab, then the hardness test. So if you test 1, it says hard sample is not scratched. That means the mineral is harder than hardness number 1. Then you click on 3, says sample is still not scratched. And then you click on 4, says the sample was scratched. Then you click OK. That means the hardness is between 3 and 4. So you go back to your lab assignment hardness. You can say 3 to 4. And chemical or biological. So in this case, the first sample here, we do not see any fossils or skeletal fragments. So it is a chemical rocks. So you say chemical over here, then composition, because it is a because this rock is reacted to the acid, so I have identified a slide to help you to identify minerals. So calcite reacted to the hydrologic acid, while silica and gypsum does not react. So in this case, this mineral composition will be calcite. Then the rock names. So to identify this rock, based on the mineral composition I gave you, and here chemical and biological rock list over here, you will be able to identify the rocks. In this case, this is a limestone. Then after this, you need to figure out what are the rock name and the formation environment. In the PowerPoint, I have 2 links that you can find useful information to find out how the rocks are formed.